please tell me about the concept behind this album?
Yes, so the album is titled Love Symposium, and this is my most personal album yet. I'm very happy that this is my 8th recording that I've released in the last 10 years. And this time I really wanted to do something different and something that felt much more personal, so not only sharing my music but also sharing a little bit more of myself and my own story, and to do a little bit of more storytelling through music. And so I was mostly inspired by the key piece on this album, which is Bernstein's Serenade. And this piece was inspired by Plato's Symposium, which is a philosophical dialogue, a discussion about different aspects of love. So there's, of course, romantic love, but also all different interpretations or ideas about love. And so from that core piece and the ideas and reflections that I had while learning Bernstein's Serenade and while performing it, that's how I developed the concept for this album. So I wanted it to be kind of my own exploration of different facets of love. And oftentimes when we think about love through music or love compiled into an album, it's often very romantic love, or the kind of popular idealization of happy or joyful love or beautiful love. And for this album I wanted to explore different facets of love, similarly to Plato's Symposium. So I've combined the Serenade with Vaughan Williams' Lark Ascending, a new arrangement of the iconic Adagietto from Mahler's Symphony 5. And I say that this, the Adagietto is the heart of the album. It was a very special endeavor for me to make this new arrangement together with composer and arranger Ian Farrington.
This is very famous.
Yes, and so I've been lucky to collaborate with Ian previously on other projects, and for this one we kind of dared to have a new interpretation of the Adagietto. And then, of course, we've also done something like El Garcem d'Amour, which is probably the most obvious choice for this kind of theme. And then I also wanted to include a modern song that fits into this concept. And I chose the song Never Enough, which is from a Disney movie called The Greatest Showman. And it's a song that I personally really love, and that when I watched the movie, the song was very impactful for me. And it was also a song that originally, in its original form, is quite symphonic and involves an orchestra, and we felt like we could transform this into a new version for solo violin and orchestra. So that's the track list for the album.
You mentioned before that it is about storytelling, especially about your own story. So how are you related to the Bernstein Serenade?
The Bernstein Serenade actually is a piece that has become very important to me in the last several years leading up to the recording, and even today. I've had several very important performances with this piece. Most notably, my debut with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra was with the Bernstein Serenade. And of course, it's not only an incredible moment for any violinist or any musician to play with the New York Phil, but for me it was particularly meaningful to be able to play the Bernstein Serenade specifically because of Bernstein's history
related to
with the New York Phil,
yes,
and his DNA being integrated into the orchestra.
So at that time, who was the conductor?
We played with Santu Matthias Ruvalli, and Santu is someone that I have worked with several times before, so we already had a relationship together, and so I felt very comfortable working with Santu again. But of course, doing this kind of repertoire, which for many orchestras is not a piece that is performed regularly, but with the New York Phil, because they're so familiar with Bernstein and with his works, it was not only a great honor, but just such a huge pleasure and very rewarding musically to be able to play such a piece with them. And for me personally, I was born in New Jersey, and the New York Phil was the very first orchestra that I ever heard in my life.
That's very personal.
Yes,
yeah.
so it was, I was very spoiled, of course, that my first orchestra that I heard was the New York Phil, but it was very meaningful in that aspect, just everything, all the different components of this debut really aligned, and it was very significant.
Yes, maybe a side track. Do you think New York Phil nowadays they still perform Bernstein frequently? Not just Serenade,
Yeah.
but other pieces.
I believe so. As I mentioned, of course, Bernstein has such an important history with the New York Phil, and I think that's something that they still value and cherish to today.
If this is so personal, can you tell me how the other piece related to yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the Lark Ascending by Vaughan Williams is a piece that I have performed since I was very young, and I think it's a piece that most violinists know quite well, and especially living in Europe and living in London for the last several years of my life, familiarizing myself with English music and having the opportunity to play the Lark Ascending. It's such an iconic piece all over the world, but particularly in England. And for me, this piece is something that I associated with the love of nature, of course, the most obvious connection, and also this idea of being in stillness, of loving just the moment that is right now. And I kind of think of it as, nature is, we know what a forest is, or we know what a lake is, or what the ocean is, but every minute, every second, something is changing, right? It's never standing still, or it's never quite the same, and I think there's a great beauty in that. And so that was kind of the reason why I wanted to include it in this album. And it's always been a dream of mine to record the Lark Ascending with an English orchestra, and so to be able to do that with the RPO was a dream fulfilled. And the Adagietto of Mahler, it's a piece that is very personal to me, because of course we all grow up knowing and loving the Adagietto and Mahler 5, but I had an opportunity to kind of rediscover the Adagietto in particular through something that I experienced in my personal life, and so through that kind of re-encounter with the Adagietto and being able to see it in a different way and having a personal connection to it, it led me to think, okay, what if, I really want to play this and enjoy it from a performer's side, and I would like to create this kind of more intimate version that I feel like the piece has a very intimate meaning for me. So then I was thinking, okay, how can I do that? What can we create? And so that led me to think, what if we explore a chamber music version? And of course, this was the biggest risk, I think, for me personally to make this arrangement. And
yes, I would like to know, you say this is a chamber music version. So how many members in this particular work?
Yeah, so we have.
How many players in this particular work?
We have nine players.
9.
Yeah.
So this
It's
is
just strings and
chamber.
harp. Yeah, very, very chamber. So
Yeah.
so there's no conductor. I was leading, and all the musicians who played the Mahler is, of course, the members of the RPO. And it was also meaningful that I've, of course, done this recording with the RPO. I've also done this
Yes.
previous recording with
Yes.
the RPO.
This is a question I have in mind. I have to ask you because I realized that this is your third. Is it your third of recording with RPO?
Second.
Second.
One and two.
And how about the Ashkenazi one?
Philharmonia.
Ah, yeah. Do you have any special linkage with this orchestra?
Yes, with our RPO, I was their first ever artist of residence in 2018.
Oh, 2018.
Yes, and so since then, of course, we've done many performances together and tours together, but we've also done a lot of outreach projects together. So educational activities, and also one of the most significant projects that I've done for myself and also with them was we did an outreach project with young people who were struggling with mental health issues, and so we developed a workshop, kind of like a music therapy workshop, where we went and created these musical workshop with these young people, and actually through various sessions we managed to create a new piece of music together, which we ultimately premiered. We had a piece kind of composed from the ideas that we created together through these sessions, and then we premiered this piece at one of the RPO concerts at Carnegie Hall. And so that was a very meaningful project to be able to work with these people and help them through their healing and through the difficult time. And so we've done, all to say that we've done a lot of things together, both on and off stage, and also including these two albums.
Okay, so this one, for obvious reason, is about love. Okay, so this one you have already explained. You love the music, and this time you cooperate with Yulong. Yes. How did it happen?
So Maestro Yulong, I got to meet him in Europe several years ago, and then at that time we had actually had several concerts and projects lined up, and then COVID happened, so everything was delayed and postponed, and one of the ideas at that time was doing this album together, and Maestro Yulong has been incredibly supportive, and we've discussed like different ideas for repertoire, and he was also really interested in exploring Bernstein Serenade together, and so that's how this collaboration came to be. And we, prior to making this recording, we played the season opening concert of the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra in London together before going into the recording session.
So with the Bernstein piece?
Yes.
Yeah. I see. So for this recording, this is supposed to not to be a live recording, right? So you worked on this project for how long? That is?
I believe we had 3 days with the orchestra, and then I think we had like half a day for the Mahler, like as a chamber ensemble.
I see. Yeah. You have worked with DG for 10 years now. How would you describe this relationship?
Oh, well, very, very meaningful, of course. I grew up with a big CD collection, and I never forget, of course, the big yellow logo and how iconic that was, and what a great symbol it was of fantastic music.
Even just a piece of paper.
Yes, exactly. You know, so identifiable, not only in the look, but of the quality of the albums and the musicians who are DG artists. And so as a young musician, it was something that I was always striving towards, you know, to reach that quality and that level. And so, of course, when it came time to record my first album, I think we released in 2015 or 16, Sibelius and Glazunov. It was absolutely a dream come true to be able to do that with Deutsche Grammophon, and to not only release one album, but to have a steady partnership and collaboration since then.
There's always a click before something special happens. So, what's the click? That is what connects you to DG?
What connected me
Is
to
it
DG?
about some kind of competition, some kind of performance?
I think people often ask me about like the clicking moment, and I think for me, it's less of a aha moment. It's less of that click. And for me, I think it's just been like I've been doing this for quite a long time now, and I think it's just been an accumulation of the years of experience, of working with great collaborators, with great conductors, management of, it's just been like a combination of all of these components.
So you have been a wunderkind when you grow up?
I don't see myself that way, but I started quite young. Yes.
So how about the education system in Korea? Do you think it is very healthy now?
Well, I myself wasn't educated in Korea.
Yeah, because you're born in New Jersey?
Yes, I was born in the US, and I moved to Belgium when I was 6 years old. And since then I've been living in Europe. So I grew up in Brussels, I studied in Germany, I also studied a bit in London, and now I'm living in London.
So literally you are not brought up by that system?
No.
Yeah. There's a very Asian system, I would say, right?
Yes.
Or China system and another thing. Although you are not being brought up by that tradition, because you are being brought up by the Western tradition, when you look at the Eastern tradition of educating young violinists, what do you say?
Well, I think across Asia, I feel like the passion and the dedication towards music is absolutely incredible. And you can see that even just looking at the audience members who come to concerts and the demographic of ages and of the number of young people who will come into concert halls with their instruments. And I think it's such a wonderful thing that there are so many music schools and educators and these opportunities for young people in Asia to learn and to study music, and we can see the results of that, right? There are so many incredible talents across Asia who are performing all around the world today, and I think it's really important to have these role models for always thinking of the next generation. Like for me when I was growing up, looking up to fellow Korean artists and Maestro Chung, Kyung-Hwa Chung, Sarah Chang at the time, Konu Paek, so many legendary Korean artists, right? So as a young Korean musician, it was important for me to have these maestros to look up to, and I think for every generation it's important to see an increasing and even more diverse range of Korean or Asian artists to look up to.
As a musician, of course, every musician will have very, very sensitive ears. Are you picky about the recording quality?
Yes, of course. Recording is such an intense process in every aspect. Of course, there's so many stages to this process, right? So there's the conception of the album, of thinking, okay, what is it that I want to record? What do I want to say through this album? Who do I want to collaborate with? And then there's the process of preparing for the recording itself and being in the recording studio, and then the editing and putting all of this together. So there's so many different stages, and through each one, for me, what's most important is, of course, the quality of the music itself. And so in the recording sessions, just being so attentive to not only my own playing, but also just the music as a whole, you know, with the orchestra, with the conductor, and being able to hear it in the sound room. And I'm lucky to work with a fantastic producer and sound engineer, Chris Alder and Jonathan Stokes, who I've collaborated with previously as well. So for this album, I think I went into it feeling really really secure about the team that I had, especially because we had prior recording experience together, and it's an orchestra that I know so well. And so I think it's really a team effort to bring this to life.
So in your daily life, you listen to music by digital medium or really physical CDs?
Both. Of course, I must say that I listen to streaming or digital music much more, because especially I travel quite a lot, and that's the most convenient way. But if there is opportunity to listen to a CD or even an LP, like I think the LP is greatest luxury, right, to be able to hear that. So if my friends have an LP player or a CD player at my parents' house, then being able to listen to that and enjoy that. And I think you know, nowadays the listening is very much on the go. So the time and experience of kind of sitting down, quiet evening, and listening to an album from beginning to end.
Luxury.
That's really a luxury, right? People don't do that anymore. But I think, you know, once in a while when we do have the time to do it, that's something that I still enjoy doing and kind of savoring the recording in its entirety.
Yes. Nowadays, the vinyl records, it is booming.
Yes.
So I fancy whether this album have a chance being released in the LP format.
I hope so. That's something I would really like for that to happen. So
you have
see.
to push for that.
Yeah.